This is a 1986 Les Paul. It's kind of like a family heirloom type thing, and I'm the only one that can play it really well. So, I've got some, I don't know if, I guess it's a curveball I'm gonna throw at you guys today. And I'll fully explain it because honestly, it's just the decision that makes the most sense and that will be the most awesome in the long run. You can take the person out of the party, but you can't take the party out of the person. Right now, just because you can't go out and you're stuck at home doesn't mean you can't party at the home. This is the Cove Commuter 2. I didn't break it, I promise. Cove is an audio brand we've worked with for a long time, and every single product they've ever made is amazing. They all sound incredible. This is their new Commuter 2. Their regular Commuter was a really awesome Bluetooth speaker that had a subwoofer built into it. Now, these can create an actual surround sound with 2 subwoofers, 2 great speakers, and they have a distance of 30 feet apart. And they get pretty loud. Check this out. All right, and we're gonna go. When I'm working in the garage, one of the most important things for me is music. Cove always has some amazing sound that they can offer me. Now, I can put them in 2 different parts of the garage and have a wide range of pretty noises coming out all through the garage. This is arguably the best bang for your buck on the market. And right now, I can save you 60% off the Cove Commuter 2. You guys need to check it out, get one for yourselves, and keep the party going at home. And if you invite somebody over, 6 feet away. Now, on to the vid. Okay, first off, yes, I know my lip is cracked. I can't do anything about that. It was 90 degrees last week and it went down to 50 this week, and that's just what happens. Every time it like goes down in temp, my lip just goes and there's nothing I can do about it. Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you guys the full story here. Yesterday, I got on the phone with Comp. Comp is who I get my turbos from. I talked to them and I was like, hey, let's figure out a way we can get a compound turbo set up on my D16 because we're doing it. Ernie, the guy I was talking to, was like, he was like, I caught up on your stuff, and what I do have to say is that T25 is too small to compound. What it was actually doing, and the reason why we weren't making horsepower, and I didn't see this anywhere in the comments, we did everything correctly based on like how it could work. But the T25 is basically at some point overspooling itself and actually putting back pressure into the motor and just hot air back into the motor, which is really bad. So what we really had was kind of like a sequential-ish setup, and what we were doing, we made it work efficiently kind of until about 250 horsepower, but really what we were doing was we were just utilizing the T25 at its max capacity, and so that could have been just a single turbo T25. So the T25 is too small. So Comp was like, you need a T3 and a T4. Long story short, we got it right, but the turbo sizes just didn't communicate with each other and they wouldn't compound like we wanted to. I really wanted to utilize quick spool and high spool, but unfortunately that's not actually how compound setup works. Compound setup is just to make more boost than normal. One turbo is literally compounding the other turbo to make so much boost that you have no option but to have a very strong block or you're gonna send something to the moon. So here's what we're gonna do. This car right here, this D16 car, is a perfect candidate for a really good single turbo because it's got a half-built motor. It's not sleeved or anything, but it's got pistons and rods and 8.5 to 1 compression, so it's really good for a high boost. We're gonna convert it back to single turbo, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a fully built sleeved K24, and we're gonna do a T3, T4 setup on a K24 in that car someday after that motor goes, or we just get tired of it. We're gonna try and shoot for a seriously high 50, 60 PSI, maybe possibly with twin comps. I don't really know horsepower number. We'll talk about that later. Could be 8, 9, 1,000. Could be a lot of power. So we're still gonna do that. We've learned. And like I tell you guys, it's really important to go through life learning every day and just keep stepping in the right direction. Remember, today is never a failure if you believe tomorrow holds success. And now that we have learned all this, I know tomorrow holds some crazy success. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna build a freaking crazy ass Civic. But for right now, we're gonna convert that thing back to a single turbo and do the same thing we did this summer, except we're not gonna blow it up. We're actually gonna race it and have some fun. So let's go ahead and get to it. The last startup on the twin Civic. Come on, baby. Start. Yeah. So I also forgot to mention, we did verify this turbo is blown. I like to be honest, that is a max speeding rods turbo. This is eBay turbo, and eBay turbo is alive still after 2 cars. We're gonna end up using this turbo on the old manifold that I have. I'm gonna get all this off. Still gonna use the intercooler. I have oil lines still. I mean, this is gonna be, should actually be, I mean, I did the other turbo by myself on a lift in one day, so I should be able to get everything off and get it going. Record time, baby. I should work for NASCAR. Just like 2 minutes. Actually, it's like 10. Boom, baby. Let's see. Started at 105. 122. Let's go. 15 minutes. I was around, and I pooped in the middle of doing this. So, I mean, take like 5 minutes off of that. We are naturally aspirated again, baby. So what I've got to do now is get the old manifold, put it on there, and I'm going to use the T3 turbo. So here is the original manifold that we had from the original Honda from the last summer. So the idea now is to just make the best, most efficient turbo, eBay turbo Civic that we can. Last summer we obviously blew it up, but now with these pistons and rods and stuff like that, we should be able to make boosts happier and better and, again, longer. And it'd be nice if I could get everything kind of set up today, but we do have to do a little bit of fabrication to get wherever the new turbo is going to be sitting back to here. Easy peasy. And we're done. I'm trying to get this done in record time. Now that that's on, I've got to go ahead and clock this to how it used to be. So it's gonna be, it's a reverse, or it's a bottom mount turbo manifold. So this is actually gonna be on the top, doing it the same way as before. So this is gonna be on top. I gotta rotate the center housing, and then this has gotta also point down as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up the exhaust side first, then we'll figure the rest of stuff out. Everything is on right now, except I do have a little dilemma. So I gotta make a new line, which is fine. I did actually end up switching the turbo around, which is gonna, now that I don't have AC in this car, I can fit it like this. It'll get a little bit colder air through here, through that turbo guard. And then I do need to still clock the exhaust a little bit, because we did clock it for when we did the turbo upside down on the top. You know, it didn't matter how it was clocked, so we just turned it around. But now it needs to be returned around again. But really awesome thing is the AN fitting in my motor just came out. There was a nut on the back of it, and that nut said, nah, chief, and he left. So we gotta take that off. But in a little over an hour, I did switch the entire thing around. That's a little bit cool. Daddy's getting good. Let's give her a happy crank. I got everything. I gotta check for leaks and stuff now, so shoot. It's freaking dead. Bad oil leak or anything? Pretty much no oil leak right now. Ah. Sound of a good old turbo single cam. Sweet, sounds good. So I gotta get a couple things fixed up. Drew tomorrow is gonna come and redo the piping again for me so that I can actually go to the intercooler. And then he's gonna redirect the down pipe, and then we'll probably just use the same, whatever I had made for this. Gotta move this. So I'm gonna get this stuff figured out, but this right now is probably gonna be the best, most fun scenario. This is still the same eBay turbo setup that I had in the summer, but we're actually gonna be able to use it this time because we have a built-ish motor. And I wanna square away that, like, I don't want you guys to think that we're giving up on anything. In fact, now it's like I'm going harder than ever. Like, I'm contacting more sponsors and more people to make sure this is like a really, really cool, really powerful build. We're gonna try and get like a built head. Hell, this car might even get a built head just for fun. I'm trying to get more stuff for suspension, fuel, motor stuff. Like, I'm trying to get the best, the coolest, the most ideal Civic, especially for Ethan. It'd be nice to be able to just hand Ethan something that is fully built. Doesn't matter if it hits 50 PSI, he can just do what the hell he needs to do and make a savage Civic.
But just a couple more things with this guy, and this guy will be tooting along on the road, and probably, depending on how much this Wu-Tang War Whistle can do, could possibly be up there in the 400s. I ain't gonna lie though, I might post this up on the garage wall. The time we tried and learned and decided to send it even harder. Ethan, how do you say hi to the camera yet today? You ready to finally rip on a single Terpsky while we do the right thing?
Yeah.
Give me some thoughts. Let's hear Ethan brain time.
Well, it's a little frustrating, but you know, all worthwhile things are, I think. So we learned a lot.
I already told him what we're planning on doing. So
okay.
I mean,
all right. Well, we tried something different, and now we're gonna take it to the next level.
We're gonna go to what actually works for now,
yeah.
And then you know, do our thing, go to the track, and have some fun. Either way, while the other stuff gets built.
That's the plan.
I'm ready to have fun no matter what. To be fair, this is what I wanted to do in the summer, and it blew up before we actually had to have fun with it, so this will be fun. So you got your answer. No tuner could have made that work. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for a little sendaroo no matter what. I don't care if it's 1 turbo, 2 turbos, but for now I'm ready to have some fun and do some Honda things. It'll be nice to like go out and do some racing like we originally had wanted to. So I'm ready for it. I'm dirty. I'm really dirty. Before we end it, do also check out Cove. Check out that link I got for you in the description. And also remember that we are doing 10%. We are donating 10% towards COVID-19 emergency relief through 5 Through Supply. So make sure you guys are supporting the brand as well. I want to spread upon you my daily advice. Today, I want to say that in life, you're gonna have a lot of voices, not like schizophrenic voices, but I'm saying you're gonna have a lot of voices, a lot of words, and a lot of counsel, I guess. Not even counsel, but like you're gonna have a lot of influence from a lot of different places. And while it's really, really, really important to seek counsel and to hear what people have to say, it's also most important to make sure you're doing what is right and like what you really are chasing after. If you've got a goal for yourself, it's okay if people say you can't do it, you won't do it, you shouldn't do it, that sort of thing. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But ultimately, do what you know is right for yourself. And that's what I'm gonna hit you with today. Wha-bam, you guys have an amazing day. And I'll see you guys very soon with a tuned single Terpsky Civic until we get the big boy set up. Deuce. Hey! I got 2 videos for you. I don't know if you see them right there. If you got eyeballs, which you probably do since you've been watching, you probably have some eyeballs. You could look at those 2 videos with your eyeballs and click on those 2 videos that you see with your eyeballs and watch those 2 videos with your eyeballs.